Every day, America Online is making it easier for people to live, work, and play.
When we installed internet access on our computer, I got the whole family involved.
A new way for music and
Just what is this main artery of the information superhighway?
You beautiful bastards.
No matter how large, no matter how small, we'll be on the internet in the year 2000. It's the primary way that people will look at information.
Shut up!
When we were there.
Oh, that's your line.
You can take a drink of water just to like calm down about that.
I'm sorry. This is so messed up that I did that to you.
Hello and welcome to When We Were There, Biased Internet History. I'm Thomas.
And I'm Josh, and this is a podcast all about the history of internet content, the who's, the what's, the where's Waldo. We get into it all.
And you're going to like this one.
You're going to like this one a lot.
You're really going to like this one.
Like it. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. He did like a thing where like he was like jerking it.
Yeah.
This one's about porn.
It's about porn. If you couldn't tell by the fact that we were dancing to Soulja Boy in the beginning, even though our song was playing over it because we don't have the rights.
Right. So
Mr. Boy, if he came on the podcast, we could do it.
then he could give us the rights.
Yeah.
Because he surely would.
He absolutely would. If he came on the pod, we'd be able to dance to his most famous song, the fucking one-hit wonder.
Yeah, of course. And probably give us a cut.
Absolutely, we'd get a cut of the budget. And
That's
I'm
not
sure
the issue,
he's
though.
still pretty cut.
I hope so.
Because he can hire a dietitian.
I'll be pretty pissed if Soulja Boy like isn't all cut up.
Yeah,
know?
he has like cut-up energy, you know?
Yeah.
Much like James Dean, and not the James Dean you're thinking of.
Do you remember like how old you were when you found out what Soulja Boying someone was? Or no, Supermaning that hoe, sorry. Soulja Boying, I don't know what that is. I'm sure that's a thing though.
You know what's crazy is like I was just about to get mad at you. Because I tried to make that James Dean transition.
Right.
Talk about Soulja Boy, but now you're talking about Soulja Boying someone. I guess that's a fine enough transition.
Supermaning someone.
Superman, yeah. So I remember I was in grade 4.
Okay.
Maybe a little younger, and I was like, "What's Supermaning?" And it's like, maybe this was at my school. I don't know. I didn't even really know what jism was that
At
much.
someone else's school, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we had misinformation, but it's like, oh, it's when you come on a girl's back and then she puts a blanket on her and it's stuck to her, which semen isn't that strong.
No.
To hold up a duvet,
A duvet?
it's not going to happen.
Well, maybe that's how Soulja Boy's semen works.
You're just saying he has like the super glue of cum.
Yeah, he's like a mutant.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But I feel like there was like other ones. Like it wasn't just Supermaning. There's like Spider-Maning where like you finish, but you go like.
Right.
I'm not sure if this shit I was remembering. I feel like
Supermaning's the only one that's in the song.
There's not another? I thought there were like 3 different in the song.
I don't think so.
And I think you're right.
We were just listening to it too, but I wasn't listening to what he said. Watch me crank that, watch me roll, watch me crank that, Soulja Boy, then Superman this hoe, or that hoe, yeah.
That young lady.
Yes, sorry.
She gets around, but like let's have some respect for her.
I think I was in grade 6.
You know what? Soulja Boy gets around too, so he's a bit of a hoe himself. So he shouldn't be.
Yeah, there's no way of knowing that he's talking about a woman. Also,
that's true.
So it's kind of fucking sexist of you, actually,
right.
to just assume it's a young lady.
He's coming on Meek Mill's back because Meek Mill's always wanted to be Clark frickin' Kent.
Exactly, Rice.
Absolutely. I don't know if I ever watched a porno about Soulja Boying someone. Supermaning. It's
so easy to do, though.
Yeah.
To just assume that it's called Soulja Boying.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, like, what's Soulja Boying someone? Like, you like, fuck them and make, like a hot SoundCloud rap about it?
Yeah, like, while you're mixing, you're also fucking.
Yeah, while you're mixing the tracks, you're also mixing guts.
Nice.
It's like
that was cool.
It's like the worst phrase for...
Crushing guts, yeah.
Crushing guts?
So upsetting.
Yeah, it's horrible. But, like, I kind of love it for that reason.
Yeah, it's very foul and upsetting.
Well, it's also, it's like the cousin to, like, the worst term for shitting, which is dumping guts.
Yeah.
Like, if you're, like, at a party, like a nice dinner party.
Yeah, and you get up from the table. They're serving veal.
Yeah, veal and duck l'orange. Why both? I don't know. It's just that ritzy.
It's that ritzy. What do you have? Caviar on the side.
Yeah.
55 Margot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you get up and you go, oh, pardon me, everyone. I have to go dump guts.
Yeah. And then everyone goes silent at the table. And then the host goes, well, if you're doing that, me and my wife are going to go crush guts. You get the promotion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And so he's your boss, or?
Yeah. The guy hosting the dinner.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But here, you know what?
That's pretty nice of him to invite you to a dinner.
Here's the biggest twist. Are you ready for the biggest twist?
I guess should I drink water first?
Yeah, have a sip of water.
Well, okay. Don't say it while I'm drinking, because
you're going to spit out. You're going to ruin all the gear.
Take. Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
It's very upsetting how you drink that. Anyway, so get this. Okay, so your boss says, like, oh, we're going to go crush guts. You get the promotion, right?
Okay.
You're your own boss. So you're getting a Blumpkin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like...
Why the Blumpkin? Like, not...
Because you're shitting and getting laid.
Not in like this scenario you're describing?
Because in the scenario, it makes absolute sense.
I'm saying, like, why the Blumpkin?
I think
as an existential question.
Yeah. No, I think the logic, it's not something I'm into, because the least sexy I feel is when I'm taking a shit.
Yeah, we don't need to retread on that.
Yeah, but what I mean is like, I guess it's like, oh, sometimes like you're taking a big old shit, and it's like a sweet release,
right?
And then you're also getting that sweet release. I think that's the logic.
Okay,
but then it's gonna smell like shit.
That makes sense, I guess. I thought it was maybe like a power thing.
I'm sure it's also a power thing.
Well, it's like I'm so fucking hot and sexy that, like,
even when I'm shitting,
yeah,
I'm getting domed.
People want to, like, suck on my knob.
I'm sure that's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, again, for me, it's like, nah, man.
That's your opinion on Blumpkins.
Yeah.
It's a nah, man.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think, we usually start our episodes when we get into the theme, which we kind of have been doing right now, coincidentally.
We're just so crass that
it works out. Is like, what is this thing? You know what porn is.
Yeah.
We don't need to explain it to you. I mean, I think we're specifically talking about, like, internet porn and what it's done for the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of talking about what porn is, we're going to talk about what porn is. But first, what is when did you discover it? Because we've alluded, like, I know I've alluded to this a little bit on the Newgrounds episode, but when did you find it, and when were you like, this is a thing that I just do every day now?
Right. So those are like two different things. Two different events. Yeah. First time, let's see. I'm trying to think of like what grade it was. 3 or 4-ish, something like that. And one of my friends, whose name I'm not going to drop, it's Ryan Cohen.
Okay, so
I'm not going to drop his name.
No relation?
To me?
No, to Phoebe.
Different last name.
Okay, go on.
And I'm not going to dox Phoebe.
Yeah.
So anyway, Ryan Cohen, he lived like down the street from me.
Yeah.
On like 29th and Carnarvon-ish or something.
Oh, yeah, no, I know you're telling I was 350 West 29th.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay. The basement suite, right?
His room was, well, he had a room in the attic, but we spent all our time in the basement
suite.
Yeah, exactly.
He's still there, right?
I think so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's still there.
But
with his like mother and, you know.
They don't lock the doors.
Okay, definitely not.
No, it's a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, they're a nice like Jewish family too.
They got a lot of nice stuff in their house.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They had a GameCube back in the day.
Do they still?
Probably. It's probably a GameCube there.
Could like we go?
I think we're gonna go like right after this.
And grab the GameCube.
You gotta cover your mouth from the camera, because
maybe
the camera's gonna know what we're talking about.
Maybe they'll have a nice brisket in the fridge too.
Oh, dude. He was like sex.com, am I right?
Okay.
Yeah, so then I think he maybe showed my like Korean neighbor who's like a good friend of mine, Jung Ho.
Yeah.
And
I
then
know when you said Korean neighbor, for some reason I just assumed
he was old.
yeah, no, just like a 70-year-old elderly Korean woman that you forced to watch porn.
Yeah, we forced her to go onto sex.com.
Yeah, Mrs. June, would you
Yeah.
like to come over and watch sex.com? No, it's not your choice.
It's not, yeah. What's his last name now? I can't even remember. Lee, probably. Anyway, long story short,
Yeah.
sex.com, somehow it's put on my radar.
It puts in the mix. You force an elderly woman to watch it.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is kind of weird. Maybe I'll come back to it.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. My cousins were staying at my house.
Yeah.
They're a couple years older than me.
Yeah.
I guess I wanted to be cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, have you guys heard of sex.com?
Okay.
And they're like, oh, we gotta check that out. And I was like, oh, well, I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we gotta check that out. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And we pull it up, www.sex.com.
Yeah.
Put that in the address bar.
Yeah.
The page loads.
Yeah.
And then on the page, there is a busty woman.
Yeah.
And she's not wearing a top, nor a bra.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's all skin.
Underpants though?
She is wearing underpants, but
Okay.
she's,
Grandma or?
no, like a nice,
Okay.
not like a thong, but like
But yeah, a cool pair of
yeah, like a good like
like a
kind of
lacy.
lacy pair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
And then she's pulling them down a bit with her
thumb.
thumb.
Okay.
And then it says you must be 18 to enter. And because we didn't enter the site.
Yeah.
I always thought it kind of odd that it's like
show the tits.
show the tits. Yeah, that's chill.
That's
They
fine.
have very European sensibilities.
Yeah.
But
if you want to see dick or pussy,
oh, you got to be 18 for that.
yeah.
Yeah, and then we're like, okay, pretty cool. And then my younger cousin,
Sorry, I'd love the idea of building a porn site and then just have full penetrate, like a video, like or a video on the site. And it's like just really going to town on this chick. You see everything. It's like, oh, you got to be 18 or older to come in, sweetie. Like, just completely defeating the purpose.
yeah, this doesn't, yeah,
Sorry, go on.
that's fine. We got caught because my younger cousin Megan,
Yeah.
saw us somehow. And,
The fact that I've never heard of her
yeah,
knows that this completely ruined your guys' relationship.
yeah, yeah.
Fuck you, Megan. Go on.
She tattled on us, and then
Yeah.
my mom was like, "You're grounded from the internet for a week, I guess, or was it a month?
That's even a week would have been a big deal back
I think
then.
it was a month."
Jesus.
So I went to my friend's house and we went to the internet. We went on the internet there.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I guess I'm not going to look at this until like the summer before grade 7.
That's what you said. The summer before grade 7, I'll be back. Wrote it in your...
Wrote it in my little diary.
Yeah.
Said, okay, my interests are peaked.
Might just a peak, but right now I'm not in a pussy yet.
Yeah, I'm too much of a wet bitch to be able to...
Still really in a Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Spyro
Ripto's Rage was all the rage back then.
It's so true.
But you weren't quite ready for ass.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't know. It was like, I guess it's time for porn.
Yeah.
Because that was a summer where I just like got really into the like chilling on the internet a lot more. So I watched a lot of Cinemassacre. My boy James Rolfe, Mr. Rolfe,
Come on the pod.
answer my emails. And then porn.
Yeah.
I watched movies like Cinemassacre. Probably played some video games, and I watched porn for like a whole summer.
Well, I want to get more into.
It was
of course,
still
it was
to this
amazing.
day one of the best summers I've ever had in my life.
Jerked it. I was watching Roll. Nothing could be better.
They're not
I
related.
didn't see a single person.
Yeah, kind of like a little bit.
Yeah.
I stayed up all night, like every night,
Yeah.
and like would pretend like I was asleep when my mom came, like left to go to work, and then I'd get right back to it.
Right back, whether it was watching an angry man play SNES
Yeah.
or watching some chick get one-upped, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
I want to go I want to go back to your journey a little bit because I have a plethora of more questions, but as this is also an internet history podcast, Sex.com, if I'm not mistaken, was actually bought by the same guy who did Match.com, you're telling me?
Incorrect.
Oh.
Created. Yeah. I think he created it. I'm definitely not checking my notes right now.
No, there's a bug in the room, and Thomas is pleasuring it. I thought that would be like a good cover, right?
Oh, they don't suspect a thing.
You guys don't suspect a fucking thing.
Yeah, he registered sex.com on May 9th, 1994. And that's all from my brain.
That's all. And then someone stole it, right?
So if you just want me to tell the story of sex.com, I can.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy.
Okay.
And it's kind of funny that like that's
the first, because I never went on it.
Yeah. By the time we got to sex.com, like all the like craziness had kind of subsided.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But the story of sex.com is actually insane, really sleazy. So yeah, the guy who created match.com was like, okay, like I'm going to make a site, people meet, they become chill, right?
Yeah.
What's the next step? Obviously, they're going to hook up.
Yeah.
Sex.com. He creates it. He registers it. But he's like, let's put that on the back burner because I got to get people like linked together first before they're fucking.
They have to meet. They have to go on a date. They have to know like, okay,
he's got to buy the wine.
He's got to buy the wine. What's your favorite brand of Cheerios? Like,
exactly.
Do you go No Name? Do you go Honey Nut? Like,
you
got to know all this small talk shit.
Yeah, before you can really like get into the intricacies of
or else you're gonna be like mid fuck and you're like, oh shit. Like, do you like wheat O's or are you more of like a Honey Nut man? And
then he's like, I don't care. I'll show you my honey nut. And then she's totally turned off.
Yeah, she's like, no.
She's like, I'm more of a Weetabix gal. So this has been ruined for me now.
Yeah. And she's not into it no more.
Exactly. So Gary Cremen in his jeans.
Nice.
He saw that. He was like, okay, I can see the trajectory of like how this is going to go down.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with match.com.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to the sex part later. But this guy Stephen Cohen.
Yeah.
And yes, there's relation.
Okay.
It's probably why Ryan knew about it.
Okay.
His old uncle Steven gave him the 411.
He gave him an account.
On sex.com.
Yeah.
This guy was like, hey, look at this site, sex.com. It's just sitting there. Yeah. No one's using it. I want it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to I'm going to email and like call and send a bunch of fraudulent faxes to like the registrar to get this domain. And he basically fished it. Like he scammed them into giving him the domain. He like eventually somehow got a hold of like some like lowly operator. Someone was like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess, sorry, you must own this. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't say that you own it.
He's just a good scammer.
Yeah. So they transferred the ownership to him and he was like, perfect.
Yeah.
Now it begins. And he started going to all these like porn conventions and walking around with this big ass dick energy because he's like, yeah, I own sex.com.
That's pretty cool.
Heard of it?
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. But what he didn't do is make a porn site on it. What he did is he just was like, just pay me a shitload of cash
and
to put
just banner ads, right?
Yeah, banner ads to your site. And then we'll have like, it was just like an ad farm.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is like, you have to think, especially like in the early days of the internet, probably earlier than ours, but I remember being a kid, and I'm sure you do too, is you're just like, does this website exist?
Yeah.
You're just typing like sex.com or like, that's how like the SEO of some like free online games, got big, or something like, anything really, like addicting games, whether it be like funny junk, funny.com, like anything. You kind of just like typed in and be like,
yeah, or like,
I don't need to just rely on a search engine. Now we're kind of in an age where like you wouldn't just randomly type in a website name. Maybe you'd like Google it, but
you wouldn't.
So I assume so many people who just looking for porn would either type in porn or sex.com and then find all these banner ads like, oh, I can find any site I want here.
Yeah, it was actually brilliant. He made shitloads of money.
Yeah.
Until Gary Crimmins was like, hey, that's my site. What the fuck? and sued his ass.
Jeez, yeah.
But it was like, I feel like he stole sex.com from the guy in like 95.
Yeah.
And it really started like running with the banner ads and stuff in like 96.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until 2000 or 2001 that Gary won the rights back to sex.com.
Jeez.
And like millions of dollars in damages, like 60 something $million.
65, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And then you're really like ruining the illusion that you don't know the story by adding in like specific.
No, I'm just telling you to talk about it. I never said I didn't know. I just know you knew more. I knew like I knew the fucking six. We have notes, okay? So I read key little facts, and then Thomas knows the whole story.
Yeah.
Sorry to break the illusion, internet.
Yeah, this is not a real conversation. There's actually microphones in front of us and cameras.
Yeah.
This isn't how we usually talk.
No. Sometimes.
Well, yeah, because we do a podcast.
Go on, I said.
Yeah, he was like, okay, I got the rights back. Now you gotta, I think he like promptly sold it because he was like, fuck this, so much hassle. But I think it sold for like $13 million or something, which might still be the highest selling domain of all time.
Really? 13 million is? I would have thought maybe in the hundreds.
I would have thought more too, but I think like domain alone.
Yeah.
Because you got to think like buying like Instagram or whatever. They're not buying the domain, they're buying the whole.
Yeah, the software and
the
code and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're not even buying a site from sex.com. Like you're just buying the domain name.
Yeah.
But anyway, this guy Stephen Cohen though, he's pretty tricksy because he just fucking bailed, and he like fled to Tijuana.
Yeah.
And never paid the money that he owed the guy. Eventually, in like 2005, he got caught and was sent to jail for like a couple years, but he never paid it. And I think he's like just chilling now. I think he's scot-free, basically.
Yeah, he owns fucking.com.
Yeah.
He's fine now.
Yeah. And also, strangely, he owns horses.com.
Okay.
But it's not like...
The .com bubble was a weird time, folks.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be its whole own episode. Don't you worry. I think... So I want to go into the history of porn a little more. But first, I also want to know. So here's a big thing. So I'll go in a little bit of like what my porn... Just
to wrap it up, I guess, just to relate it, circle back to by the time I found sex.com, it was after it had been bought by 13 million and set up to be like the Tumblr of porn was what it was supposed to be.
Okay.
And it probably would have been like...
You didn't even get in, though. Because you weren't 18.
I wasn't 18, so I wasn't allowed in. But it probably would have been like really like quite soon after all that shit happened, which is pretty crazy to think.
Yeah,
like it would like if we had come like even like a year earlier, it probably would have just been like banner ads and shit.
Yeah.
So
which might have had some titties in there too. Probably.
Maybe even some bottoms.
Okay. That's cool.
I didn't want to swear.
Yeah, no, that's good. You don't want to say like snatch or pussy or anything like that.
Yeah.
Kids listen to this.
Kids do listen to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I sort of found porn, it was one of two things, and my little brain don't totally know, because two things happened. Once, and I've talked about this before, I was on Newgrounds, and there was an advertisement for the fake Britney Spears sex tape where she was
eating the sandwich.
I thought she was eating a sandwich, but it was just a very large penis. And the second thing was I went on my dad's computer to play a game, and the other tab was porn. Oh, the other window. This is before tabs.
Okay, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, and it was a weird site.
So that's like child abuse?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So, I didn't ask to use the computer, in fairness.
Oh, so then you're invading his privacy, actually.
Yeah, he was just
it's totally flipped.
He was doing the laundry, and I wanted to play Donut Boy 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so he was doing the laundry after...
I guess. So, I don't know, it was just his personal laptop. This is like the beginning of laptops, you know?
Right.
Anyway, so I was like, oh, okay. I didn't like watch it, but I was just aware of it.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I want to ask, because I feel like this is relevant. This is a weird thing to talk about. But when did you discover through watching porn that jerking off was a thing?
Oh, like pretty quick into it.
Do you remember when you figured out how to jerk off?
Like, not like the day, like not
Why
exactly.
I say this is I have a really weird story.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
let's hear it.
So me and some friends, like 4 friends, were hanging out
Yeah.
in a hot tub
Okay.
as 11-year-olds.
Right.
Because the piece of shit my mom was dating at the time had a hot tub.
So actually, he was pretty cool then, it sounds like.
Nope. So it was his son and like 2 or 3 of our friends from school, because his son was my age and was in my grade.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about it, and someone's like, "Oh, you guys like find porn?" It's like, yeah, I've seen it a couple times. You know, I've been grossed out by 2 Girls, 1 Cup. I've seen tits on the internet. It's pretty cool. I like it. I don't know what that means, but I like it.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, have you jacked it yet?" And I'm like, "What?" And it's like, "Oh, it's like you take your 2 fingers." That's why they, for some reason, it's called 2 fingers and thumb, and you just kind of rub on the skin, and then it feels nice. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "Here's what we're gonna do, boys. First of all, we're gonna compare our dicks,
Well, yeah.
of course. Who's got the biggest? Who's got a mole on it? Then we're gonna all go into separate rooms and jack off."
Separate rooms.
Yeah.
That's pretty chill.
Yeah. But it was like right after we all looked at each other's dicks. Like, okay, okay. I guess I know now. And then we all went in and like thought about ladies. Though I guess a few of the guys were probably thinking about the dicks they saw earlier.
I mean, possibly.
No, I know for some of them. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. I mean, that's chill.
Yeah. They were thinking
They're
about
probably
the dicks.
like more stoked than you.
Absolutely more stoked. They got to see full screen
was
HD
was
live.
the dick idea theirs?
Maybe. I don't totally remember.
That'd be pretty sly.
That'd be very sly.
Yeah.
So we all went in the second rooms. And I tried it. And I'm not sure. See, it was like
hate
that motion.
this right now.
Yeah,
The whole 2 fingers thumb thing.
that's how I was told.
And then you're using your own thumb to demonstrate. Like, I don't need to think about like 11-year-old boy penises and like guy. Like,
I was just saying I was taught in a weird way by another kid.
that is strange. Yeah, I don't
No,
know.
it wasn't until like Max and me were talking about once. He's like, "No, you can just put your whole hand over it."
By this time, that was like a couple months ago.
Yeah, a couple months ago.
And you're like, oh,
Showing the light.
no.
Yeah. So then after that, it'd be like
This feels so much better.
I'd go home on Google and type in boobs.
Oh, yeah.
And then you'd just be like, I remember specifically on Playboy.com, there was like a picture of a chick who like had platinum hair, like dyed her hair platinum and big old titties and like a weed underwear.
Okay.
And that would be my go-to. And then I found, I believe YouPorn, just because this was also around the time of YouTube.
Yeah.
When I really sort of got into it of sorts, or before. And I remember just like, I didn't like to see a penis.
Yeah.
So I would just watch like lesbian porn. And then one guy's like, no, I think it was Max still. I hate to dox Max again. But he's like, you got to imagine that it's your dick.
And this was a game changer.
It was a
for
total
you.
game changer.
I love that you're like, you didn't think of that on your own.
No, I didn't.
You had to be told.
No, it was like a voyeur.
Honestly, if it weren't for Max, you'd still be jerking off the lesbian porn with 2 fingers.
Yeah. He's made everything better.
Yeah.
No, but it was like, because it was like voyeuristic in my mind. It was like, okay, I'm watching 2 ladies
Yeah.
hook up. I don't want to watch a penis. And
Yeah.
it's like, no. You got to imagine it's your dick.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh. It's like I haven't had sex yet, but I guess this is what I imagine it would be
I
like.
guess this is what it feels like.
And I guess since I was like started when I was 11, like when I would finish, nothing would come in.
Same here when I first
You hadn't
started.
developed seed yet.
No, but by the end of the summer,
Yeah.
it happened.
2 years, I remember it happened once. I was like, what the fuck's going on?
You thought you broke it.
Yeah. Well, it started first where like I'd go and just be like a little bit, and then I'd be like, oh, like I'm stuck to my underwear. And then it was like it all came
it's
out.
like it circles back.
Full circles to Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it is sticky after all. I think the like point of the song is that it dries.
Yeah.
I also don't think it was ever a duvet.
Yeah. Okay, it's still a sheet, but it's like, hey, can you wait here for like 10 minutes
Yeah.
with a sheet on your... It's still weird.
Well, he obviously gets a hair dryer.
He brings a hairdryer.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to properly Superman that hoe, you need a hair dryer.
So now you know about sex.com. I want to rewind a little bit. Now, this is something I've talked about. I think we've talked about in quite a few episodes, at least 3. But I think technology and culture is driven by 2 things: the sex industry and war. If it were not for sex, there were a lot of wars we wouldn't have gone to back in the olden days. If it weren't for like the technology that led into trying to create missiles, we wouldn't have spaceships. If it weren't for the technology of trying to hack code during World War II, we would not have a computer. Alan Turing, we know you're a horny bitch. But
that's true.
A lot of what got us on, building supercomputers and building smarter computers and eventually leading to the internet was all sort of driven by war, that technology. But a lot of the things as far as like actually viewing video or like the first transaction that was ever on the internet was porn.
Mm-hmm.
The being able to watch video files on the internet and image files on the internet was primarily because of porn. And I believe you told me on Usenet, what was it, like 80% of images were estimated to be?
Yeah, this was one estimation that one guy made that a few people were like, it's not that high.
But it's still probably very high.
It was definitely very high. But
Like-
I would say maybe 30, 40%.
Still, like,
Still like
which
a
is
lot.
probably still the case to this day.
Yeah.
But I think like so many things are like driven by porn. And I think one of the big things is, look, if you're about our age, you remember going to Blockbuster, getting the orange Rugrats VHS.
Rugrats Go to Paris.
Is that the one where they fight the Godzilla guy?
You mean Reptar?
Yes, Okay, sorry, I didn't remember Reptar.
Yeah, you should be sorry.
I feel like shit, obviously.
Do they fight Reptar in Rugrats in Paris? I think he's definitely in it.
Yeah, okay.
I think that Reptar on Ice is in Rugrats in Paris.
Okay, so anyway.
Could be mistaken. It's been quite some time since I watched
We'll
that.
watch it at the office today.
Okay. Every time we say like, I
Okay,
bring
we'll
something
go to
up.
the office, I'll finish my work, and then we'll watch it. We'll watch a little bit of it, and then we'll do something for Max's birthday.
Every time. We still haven't watched Shredder Man.
Okay.
We still haven't watched some other thing. And
So it clearly isn't that important to you. Anyway, I need to go on with the episode, my guy. We'll watch Rugrats. So-
I got so scared of salad fingers and I had to watch Rugrats in Paris to calm down.
Okay, I'm sorry. We'll watch Rugrats.
Okay, thank you.
So you get that orange VHS. And to people a little older than us, you might know that VHS was not the only cassette tape. There were a couple, but the big ones were VHS and Betamax. Look, Sony had the fucking market with Betacam. If you're shooting news broadcasts, you're not shooting on VHS. You're shooting on Betacam just because you're getting better quality all in all. But for the home video wars, it was always VHS and Betamax. What VHS, especially for home recording, which was good, is it was always had the ability usually to. It's a bigger cassette. It had more tape, so you could have longer recording times. But Betamax was better quality. It had more horizontal lines. You're going to be getting a better picture, sound, and video. But what is believed to be the thing that really VHS won, same as DVD versus Laserdisc. The reason why, and then later on, HD DVD versus Blu-ray, was porn. And the thing is Betamax didn't really like making pornos. They wanted to be more of a wholesome company. So you get them on the third market, but VHS really embraced it. You know, if you're going to the video store and you want to watch like Uncle Johnny bangs his niece's friend 3, you know, you're getting it on VHS because you don't have to flip the tape out halfway through the movie.
You're like right in the middle of it. You're about to freaking squirt.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, can you please hand me that big, huge? Please flip to tape B. It's not hot.
Yeah, it kills your boner.
Completely kills it.
Yeah.
But also it was just one of those things where like it just made itself more accessible, and I think at the time a mixture of that and also in fairness, the home recording market, whether it be recording your family or like a football game, the actual ability to be able to record for longer. Those two things are really what killed it.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you go into the same as like DVD versus Laserdisc. Like again, Laserdisc had the ability to be like very high quality, but aside from the fact of it just fucking huge.
Yeah, I feel like that might be more the reason why it lost. It's just it wasn't convenient.
Yeah, it is for karaoke because its UI is actually a lot better than DVD was.
Right.
And it came out earlier. Like Laserdisc was actually around the 70s. A lot of people don't know that. Anyway, another big thing aside from that though is same merit. Like the size and the discretion kind of go hand in hand. But the DVD market was just a lot. Again, Laserdisc, the thing that it didn't have going for it is you had to flip it.
Right.
That's another thing it had going for it. But you could store more data on a DVD. Yes and no. Sometimes you had to get the 2 DVDs depending if it was a big movie or special features. But the point being is porn also favored the DVD. And then DVD wanted to do HD DVD, meaning you could do 720 or 1080p. But Blu-ray also capitalized on the porn market. And Sony's like, you beat us with you beat our Betacam, but we got this now.
Though I also, again, not to disagree with you, but I also think a big part of why Blu-ray won was because, and Sony was smart, they dropped the PS3.
Oh, 100%.
Which had Blu-ray capabilities, right?
Yeah. No, that is it too. There's a lot of factors, obviously, in all of these, but it is one of those things where, like,
especially when it was the same price. A PS3 was like the same price as an HD DVD player, like slightly more expensive, but it was basically.
But then you have gaming as well.
Exactly. It's like, I can play Fat Princess and watch porn.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, and it seems like I'm not leaving my house for another summer.
And I mean. Also, we're kind of getting the point where when you're getting a Blu-ray, more people have at this point gravitated to internet porn.
Yeah, because by this point, YouTube has already been around, and in turn, all the tube sites for porn have been created.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like the kind of user interface of YouTube was what modeled a lot of the porn sites after that. Like once YouTube was very successful.
Yeah, they all saw that and were like, okay, this is pretty chill, but what if people were fucking on it instead?
That would be very chill. And instead of side ads or banner ads for like Hello Tushy.
Yeah.
It's like, what if that was for boner pills?
Yeah, it's like cock enlargement and horny singles in your area.
In your there's a lot of horny singles in everyone's
They're all
area.
like just around you.
Yeah.
At every moment.
Horny moms with big old titties.
Yeah, just like in the corner of your eye, you see them, but then you turn and look and they're not there.
It wasn't there. It was all an illusion, a mirage, if you will.
Yeah, but you still feel like you're being watched.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
But I know for a fact that advertising online, like banner ads and stuff like that, was also very driven by porn.
Oh, totally.
And I like...
Well, because there was a while there where it's like, to make money on the internet, it pretty much was porn. Porn was the best way and might still be one of the best
for
ways.
Advertising, yeah.
Yeah, just in general. But like, yeah.
No, but that's it. Like, if you had a site back in the day that was, you had ads on before the internet became family friendly in the Wild West days, a lot of the time, like, it's like same, like even Newgrounds.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a porn site, but the advertising was.
Yeah, totally. I remember that all the ads for stuff were for porn, like on torrent sites as well.
Yeah, if you're going anywhere, and that's the thing is the porns that at the end of the day, you can be selling a product. You can be selling it online. You can have one of the greatest products in the world, and you're probably going to get a good audience for it. But everyone watches porn.
Yeah.
Much some people might not like to admit, everyone does. So you already have the market there.
Yeah.
And then if you can make it accessible with a decently searchable name, that's all you need. And I think that's really, why a lot of the ads out there were for porn is like, you just need people to come to your site. People are going to watch it. So you'll pay better money to say, hey, show a banner ad for X hamster.
Yeah.
Once they find it, they'll stay. That's not what I'm worried about.
Yeah. Typically also, I think it's like, you want to be that like the first site someone visits.
Yeah.
Because people tend to like get entrenched.
Oh, of course.
It took me a long time to switch from, at some point I switched from think it was YouPorn
Yeah.
to Pornhub. I think Pornhub just had better marketing.
I'm a Pornhub man now.
I think their UI was better,
It is.
but it took a long time for me to switch.
Yeah, I had a weird. So I was YouPorn, RedTube.
Yeah, I remember RedTube.
But I'm gonna preface saying this. I was like 15 at the time. Youngpornvideos.com. It was legal. It was of age. It was just more like teeny stuff because I wasn't into like 30-year-olds as a 15-year-old.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then it was, I think.
I remember being kind of pissed as like a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old. It's like, I want to see girls my age, and then it's like,
no, that's very illegal.
yeah, it's not allowed at all.
And thank God.
Yeah.
And then
also, I feel like at this point of the episode, we should just like kind of be clear and be like, oh, like, yeah, well, we use Pornhub. Blah, blah. These are like bad companies. Like, if you like, especially research,
they're not good to their people.
No, they're not good to the performers. They're not good to their people. They're like all run by really sleazy guys. Like looking in.
If you want ethical porn, go to like OnlyFans. They get to run their shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Pay directly to the creator.
Yeah.
Have the workers seize the means of production.
Absolutely. The proletariat.
Yeah. We're talking about a communist porn revolution.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where we need to head. And I think that is a big thing that it would be ignorant of us not to get into is like, I don't think there should be any stigma around sex workers, people in the sex industry.
Yeah.
But the companies that take advantage of it are super sleazy. And that's the thing about porn at the end of the day. Like,
yeah,
I don't think the argument when anyone ever is talking about like the negatives of porn should be the people in them. I think the negatives should be how young people are, you know, and I think that's the thing. I think we have enough of a head out on our shoulders to understand that that's not real life.
Yeah.
But I know there are a lot of people that don't and think that the weird power dynamics and shit that's in porn is real.
Yeah.
And I think it's the optics, how people are perceiving it, and then also how these businesses are run, which are like super fucking sleazy. Before I get into that, I was going to say I switched over then to X videos. And then,
X videos as well. I
Pornhub.
kind of like darted between a few of them.
Yeah.
I remember there's also like pandamovies.com. I went to a couple times because a friend of mine was like, hey, go to pandamovies.com. It's like a joke. It's like, oh, it's like funny videos of pandas. And I was like, that sounds pretty chill.
Yeah.
And I was like in grade 7 or something. And I went
it
there.
was boobies.
And that was porn. And I was like, whoa. Because I was like, the fun thing in the time, it was like prank your friends and be like, hey, haha, you're looking at porn now. And then you'd be like, oh.
I guess I got a jacket.
Well, it was still the time where it's like, it was kind of embarrassing to like say to like your friends, like you watch porn.
Yeah.
By the end of the summer, it was like all the boys in grade 7 were like by the end of the school year in grade 7, we were all like, yeah, well, porn's so chill, huh?
Yeah.
I was also going to say the first site I went to was, I think like tube sites were already a thing, but I don't think they were as popular. It was back when like image galleries were the thing, you know? Like, cause that was how most porn was just like, a bunch of images.
So here's a funny thing I remember, just because you mentioned like pranking people or being embarrassed to watch porn back in the schoolyard days. Yeah. Is one time I remember, I think it was like grade 9, like we were talking about porn. I'm like, I don't know why it needs to be justified. Like it's two hot people having sex. Yeah. And so I was like, wait, two hot people? Like, I have to preface it that this time in human society, when I was in high school, the world was a lot more homophobic. You couldn't even allude to the fact that a man was attractive in high school without getting roasted. Right. And it's like, oh, you mean why does it have to be man? I'm like, no, that's not what I meant. But that being said, I'm a straight dude, but like, I don't know. I think it's weird if the dude's busted. Like if it's a gross old man. Yeah. I'm not into that. Yeah. So it does matter that the dude's also a beefcake, I think.
I hit my mic. Yeah. No, I do agree.
Yeah, no, I think it's just one of those things, to go back to what we were saying before, is just like, the treatment of porn stars is terrible. There's a lot of like giving young women who are desperate for money, like drugs, and sexually assaulting them and like kind of like forcing them into this. Even with like, you might be like, oh, well, maybe some of those weird sites like hoboboners.com. No, like,
no, there was a huge scandal with Pornhub where there was like a non-insignificant amount of the porn on the site had to be removed because it was like, there's no proof that there's consent in this. And a lot of people were like being like, hey, like that video was uploaded without my consent, or like, that's like, I was raped in that video. Like, please, can that be taken down? And they were just like, ignored them.
Yeah.
until they got sued. Like they're actually pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know. I know, like, yeah, I still watch porn today. Turn the podcast off, ma. But I try to gravitate more towards like the independently made stuff, just because like sometimes, like, I don't know, maybe it's as I'm getting older, but like you can watch, it's like, okay, it's obvious this girl's coked up. And,
Yeah.
like,
Well, I was gonna bring that up
upsetting.
even about like earlier when we were talking about like you switching to straight porn.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, like you made the right choice, or whatever, like the joke. But it's actually like a lot of straight porn's like pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh,
Well, that's the thing is, like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. You talk to friends about your porn habits when you're a younger guy, or even now a little bit. It's interesting. And I don't know. Like I feel very vanilla in the porn I watch. You know,
mm-hmm. You just like to watch cuddling.
Yeah, I like to watch. No. I just like to watch relatively like regular sex. Maybe some choking in there. Mom, turn off the podcast. But no, I'm not like. And then someone's like, "Oh yeah, you know, I like anal bondage." Not to fucking shame. It's just,
anal bondage.
Yeah,
I like that. It's like they just
like,
tie up the asshole.
Yeah, nothing can go in or out.
Oh god,
you got to fart. It's not gonna happen. Or like, oh, like nipple clamps for milking someone. I don't know what. I'm not shaming you. It's just I'm a vanilla man, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like everything on porn. Like it's so hard. Like I really got to carve out my niche to find my vanilla stuff. Or it's like, oh, you're my fucking stepbrother, and it's like, no, just
like, all the vanilla
just
stuff.
Be
is...
2 people on the 4th date after having like a bowl of penne.
That's so specific.
Yeah.
Is that like your first time with Laura? Was that like that?
She wouldn't appreciate me talking about my first time, but no, the first time we had penne, we cuddled a lot, and it was lovely.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want penne.
We made a pizza.
With penne?
It was a different date, but we also had the first time we cuddled, we made pizza.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you put penne on pizza?
Yeah, it was not choice, but I wanted to make her think I was Italian.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if she was a racist yet. If I told her I was a South American Jew right off the bat,
she'd be out of there.
Maybe, I don't know.
But now she has no choice.
No, she's stuck.
Yeah, she
thought I
had
was
that
fucking
penne
Italian.
pizza. She had that penny pizza.
Like, obviously, this is the most Italian dude I've ever met.
Yeah, and she
go.
told her mom about you, and then she discovered that you're actually a South American Jew.
Yeah,
but it's like she can't go to her mother and
you
and
can't remake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like she's stuck.
That's how I got her.
Nice. That's a good tactic.
But anyway, like bowl of penne porn, like that's kind of my thing. But
have you ever seen cake farts?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, what I'm saying is like, I don't know. It's that. Yeah, I feel like a lot of stuff you can watch and you can be like, I don't know if the person's into this. I'm not really feeling it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like,
and it's true. Like, I mean,
I feel like with porn, we're kind of like, again, double back with initially when porn was being uploaded to the internet, a lot of it was just like scanned magazine pages.
Yeah.
So like piracy.
Yeah.
But besides from that, a lot of it was like user generated content of people like posting their own nudes and stuff in their own videos.
Yeah.
I mean, how much of that was being posted without people's consent? I don't know. Probably still like quite a bit, yeah. Good portion. But I do feel like a lot of it was homemade. And then I feel like we moved into this like the tube space and like the internet
like
porn,
Bang Bus, and like that.
Brazzers, like the internet porn studio age.
Yeah. And
now we're moving kind of back to like user generated content being the mainstream.
So it's kind of like when people first got the goddamn who am I thinking of? Not Tesla, the other guy. Edison, when he created the video camera.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, oh, I'll take a video of trains, or like, oh, I'll take a video of something that's essentially a play. And then we got into the studio system of Julie Garland and shit.
Yeah.
And then we got that independent revolution. I'm talking Steven Spielberg. I'm talking Scorsese, you know? And then it's kind of like, you know, going back. We're in that time now. We're in that 70s era of like
Okay.
the independents are taking it back.
Okay. So what would you say is like the gangs of New York
The gangs of New York?
of porn of this age?
I guess like Mia Khalifa's OnlyFans.
Oh, really? She doesn't even have one, does she?
Yeah.
Oh, she went back?
Yeah.
She couldn't hack it as like a sports announcer.
I think she does that, but she still has no OnlyFans. To like, she's not. It's more just nudes. But
I see. Well, I was never a fan.
I was, but I'm not gonna pay. That's the thing that like makes me like. I'm saying like go to OnlyFans or something and go directly to the creator, but I don't want to pay for porn. Oh, do you?
No,
Okay, so
I'm not saying I do.
my point, what I was trying to get at though is
Because we're both pieces of shit.
yeah, a lot of the creators that have gotten big, the Riley Reeds, the Mia Khalifas, the usually I know these off the top of my head.
You're blanking.
I'm
You're so
drawing up
you're so nervous.
Blank.
Asa.
Asa. Oh, definitely Asa.
Yeah.
But I think like a lot of
she's
the
a
people,
goddamn indie mogul.
she's an indie mogul. She's the OG, but she's still. I'm talking about even the newer people that get big. You know, like I think you do kind of like graduate to your OnlyFans. You know, like I think I think a lot of the people who have gotten big have like realized like if they like making porn, like I like doing this, but I don't like the way that it's run. So I'm gonna.
They want to be their own boss.
Yeah, and especially because like you know even if you're a high profile porn, like you know like you talk to someone like Mia Khalifa, like she's on multiple podcasts said like she may be like out of her whole porn career being the #1 creator on like the internet for a while, only made like maybe $40,000 out of the whole thing.
That's insane.
Yeah,
That's actually fucked.
because of the contracts they made her sign, and then it was like they just like she got really popular
and they made millions.
oh like tens of millions off of her.
It's insane.
Not in the hundreds, you know, like, and that's the thing is like even if you're like you know someone who stayed a little longer and got to the top, it's like oh you get good money by you know porn standards for making a movie, like all that, you know, unless you have a really good agent that's getting you like money off the back end, you're like kind of fucked. And you know we've tried calling porn agents to like talk to people that have been back in the day. They're definitely pretty sleazy sounding.
The whole like world of it it's gross.
Yeah,
Reading about it like
well it's like if you watch the Rashida Jones documentary like Hot Girls Wanted, it's a great sort of like window into that. Like it's definitely not a creator.
Did Rashida Jones directed that?
She did, yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that. I've never seen it. I always just saw it on Netflix.
Yeah. No, it's definitely worth a watch. I think it's like just see how like not glamorous that world is at all. You know, you see like, oh, like maybe this creator also has a YouTube channel. And again, it's on the creator. And you know, you see these porn conventions and you know, you see how popular it is, and you're like, oh well, yeah, it's like
it's all fun and games and fucking all the time. That's cool.
No, there's like a lot of abuse and drug use and getting people hooked on the lifestyle. You know, it's
yeah, and even just like the actual like having to shoot a fucking porn scene seems like the most like unsexy thing in the world.
Well, yeah, it's like if you know, just to get graphic for a second, like if you talk to any porn star who's like done an interview, like not on a porn site, like on YouTube or something, they talk about like deep throating. It's like it's terrible for everyone. You're hurting your penis. The girl is getting choked. You know, like
yeah.
A lot of like a lot of stuff that is simulated to look hot is very upsetting.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you have to think about it like you're cheating the camera. You know, you're doing all these things to like make it appealing.
Totally.
Yeah. If you want to be ethical, go to the source. And I think that's the thing too, is I think there is a takeaway that is not a good takeaway with like learning how toxic the porn industry is. Porn is bad, and these are just, you know, poor men or women who are being taken advantage of, and they shouldn't do this. And they'd be, you know, like some people who are doing it safely and independently, like we shouldn't shame that.
No, some people truly love it.
Some people really do love it. And I think the idea that like, oh, you did independent porn, you can't get a job is like ridiculous. Like the fact
or like that teacher that got fired for OnlyFans and shit.
Yeah. It's like, hey, maybe pay teachers more than $40,000 a year.
Yeah.
Like, I think that says more about our society than it does about the women doing it, you know?
Totally. I also just love in that story where it's like, oh, like one of the fathers of the students stumbled across her OnlyFans and he was appalled. Like, he definitely jerked off to
100%.
it.
He was like, oh, my son's hot teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then his wife caught him.
Yeah.
Probably, maybe.
Yeah, I assume.
And then he was like, "Oh, yeah, it's so disgusting.
Yeah.
We got to get this woman fired."
Yeah, but I just like, I think it's one of those things where it's like, everyone watches porn at this point, we know, but also like everyone is, an adult, gets to a point where they're going to be sexual. Depending on where in that spectrum you are, it's going to happen. So it's like, you can't fire someone for having sex.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, now that the world is aware of it and can see it, like,
Yeah, it's also, I don't know, it's like, what if the children stumble across it? It's like, how will we ever explain the questions?
yeah, the questions. But that's the thing, is just like, it's like one of those things where, like, I don't know, one of my biggest problems with our society is how we demonize the human body.
Yeah.
And just like why is a naked body inherently sexual? And I think that's also a bad message to teach to kids, to be like, your body is especially young women.
Yeah.
Is your body is sexual. Someone see like the fact that it's like, oh, you can't have like a midriff showing. As like in high school, like that's why is your body inappropriate? Like it's very upsetting to me.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how you show your body is inappropriate. And look, I'm not fully saying nudist colony, because some people are going to be, but at the same time, is like
banana hammock.
Okay, banana hammock. That's what we'll do. That's the happy medium.
Yeah.
But I think that's what leads to people demonizing sex work and stuff. Like, it's the oldest industry.
Yeah.
I just think it's crazy that we're still at a point in society where it's like you're looked at lesser than, because you are just making money off of a society that is making money off of your body. That's the thing, is like, you can go to a magazine and like see half naked women advertising Carl's Jr., or like you can see the gossip magazines where all it is commenting like, how fit is he, how like fat is she, like all this shit.
Yeah.
But the second that person tries to take their power back and make money, it's inherently wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like comes from, because I was just like thinking now, like why does it, like, how did that even come about? And I feel like this might be a bit of a tangent. We are at an hour.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll try to make it quick.
Yeah.
This is like a theory I'm coming up with on the spot.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, back like in the before time, the long, long ago, hunter-gatherer society, right?
Yeah.
So like, and Phoebe and I were talking about this last night, where it's like, women and children in that society were more valuable, and even still to this day, like, men are kind of seen as more disposable, because like, one man can impregnate like, only a woman there has to be a woman to give birth to a child, and it takes 9 months. So it's like, if you lose a woman, then it's like, oh fuck, this it's gonna be a fucking bitch to get more children. And then another thing is like, because we're all programmed to pass our fucking genes on.
Yeah.
It feels like to me that this is like a weird fucked up way of like commoditizing the female body to make it like a like a more of an object or whatever. Again, I'm trying to just like figure this out as I'm saying it.
I have a theory too.
But it's like, so we commoditize the female body and make sex like something that's like kind of inherently bad.
Yeah.
Unless it's like with like a specific person, right? Man.
Yeah.
And then the men, like, now it's a way of shifting power, the sexual power, into the man's hands. And then that way it's like powerful men can assure their like genes will be passed on.
Yeah.
So by making people feel shameful about their bodies and making sex a shameful thing, you like, you kind of demonize it, make it less like acceptable.
Yeah.
Except for like, only for procreation, right?
Yeah.
And then only for procreation with me. It's like kind of the implication of it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's sort of like, again, I just sort of threw that together, but I feel like some sort of thing like that is how we've ended up in this position here, where something so inherently human and natural as our fucking bodies.
Okay, so that's a part of mine. Pass the ball here for a sec. So I think a lot of it, and I think Christianity is one of the worst things to happen. Catholicism, Christianity in the time. It slowed down history a lot. Yeah, I fucking said it. Eat my ass. So, but like if you look at, non-westernized older African colonies, the idea of, women being topless in these colonies it's not sexual. Breasts produce milk, which help create and feed life.
Yeah.
And in a lot of these colonies too, in these villages, and I think it's a couple. One village in particular, our friend Rick Bowie told me about this one. But there's a couple villages in Africa where essentially, it's kind of like a polyamorous society, and essentially what happens is women are the bearers of children, and being a father does not necessarily mean that you gave the seed.
Yeah.
So it is a society. It's a matriarchal society where the men that are there, you grow up with multiple fathers.
Yeah.
One father, maybe if they're more athletic, teaches you sports. The other teaches you how to build. The other teaches you how to cook. But it's really built around nurturing, loving the women and children, and it's like the women are kind of in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And in that society, it's like breasts are not inherently sexual, and I think it's sort of more Western, especially religious. I'm sure I won't say just religious society that's kind of built upon the idea of God only wants us to have sex to procreate. Adam and Eve became ashamed of their body when they had knowledge. And I think that is inherently fucking racist. The idea that these people that were not wearing clothes, when they ingested the apple of knowledge, when they became smarter, more intelligent, they realized that they were ashamed of their bodies.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a big part of it is then it's okay, you have all these religious Western colonies that are going around the world, creating other religious Western colonies in other parts of the country, saying your idea of wearing minimal clothes, only taking what you need from the land, and having these matriarchal societies is wrong.
Yeah.
God says that a man is in
goddamn
charge.
savage.
You're a savage. God says that the man is in charge, and you should be ashamed of your bodies, and you only have sex to. So you go to these areas of the world that even something like Japan. Before the American occupation, there were a lot more drawings and depictions of the human body that have now been shamed. If you go pretty much anywhere,
Dude, Japan is so fucked because of America.
Yeah.
A lot of their Japanese porn can get very weird.
Yeah.
And it's all because of America and their weird fucking very harsh Puritan censorship standards.
Yeah.
That they imposed on Japan, and
That's
Japan
if you
still
watch
has
Japanese porn, you'll see pixelated.
There's such a repressed society. Well, I mean, they I don't know if they totally are, but definitely a large part of their culture.
Yeah.
Seems very repressed. I mean, at the same time, when I was in Japan, I always feel like a dick, doing that whole thing. But being in Japan and meeting actual Japanese people, I didn't really feel that as much. A lot of people say they're really awkward, and they kind of are. I don't know. It's kind of a repressed society, and a lot of that is in fault to the United States.
Yeah,
and its imperialism.
And if you look anywhere where the United States or other Western cultures have gone and imposed some sort of God-fearing society upon the people that live there, I don't know. I feel like a lot of that has gone towards the destruction of the world. Has it helped technologically in the 20th century? Yeah. But you even look at countries that most modern medicine comes from the East. The inception of a lot of it. The West was oh, you have a plague? We'll put a fucking leech on your neck to get the bad blood out.
Yeah, I mean, the Middle East basically kept science alive, and it not
during the Dark Ages, yeah.
During the Dark Ages and in relation to the Mediterranean, because obviously, in China, they're doing all their shit, But that's the other thing is we're just really not taught about China and the East very much in our. No,
we're really not. But the more you learn in other countries that have not hated the body, especially the female body, and you have to think about I'll wrap this up. But you're a girl, and your whole life you've told that your body is this thing that is not okay to show, but that everyone wants.
Yeah.
And then you maybe find that the best way for you to make money to support a family or do something is to go into that industry that every man is watching. And even though every man watches it, you were told that you were wrong and bad and like a bad mother and a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's
for
so
being a part
fucked
of it.
up and abusive, like emotionally.
Yeah. But the guy that owns sex.com, he's a businessman. He's got stocks.
Yeah.
And I think we're in this culture that is like the highest commodity that is everyone is using. It's wrong of you particular because you're lesser than because you perform it.
Yeah. It's a shame that like porn is so fucked and so sleazy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of stuff that we didn't get to in this episode about the actual like impact of it and its relationship to the internet, but it felt like we couldn't talk about porn without getting into that.
Yeah.
Which is,
and that's the thing is like, and the advancements of the internet, pay windows, the ability to have like click on a link that will take you to a video and pause and scroll through. Like you have to think that was a thing before like YouTube, when a lot of other sites that were working off of Flash was like you could pause, but you'd have to reload the page to watch it again. You know, there are so many things that have brought the internet to where it is, whether it be advertising, user interface, or like different media sources of how to use different codecs to be able to,
or even just seeing the potential of monetization. Like,
absolutely.
There are some like independent people who created their own sites and aggregated content who made millions.
Yeah.
And it's like people saw that and were like, oh, okay, I guess this is something worth investing in as a whole, the internet, which some people might demonize that as well. Like we always talk about, you know, losing authenticity, like, you know, as things become more mainstream and more money gets involved, you tend to lose its soul. Yeah. Is that always true? I don't know, but like,
but yeah, I don't think we would be at this point of the internet.
No, I mean, I don't think you and I would be sitting here in our set making a show. Yeah, you know, talking to like influential creators who have made a noticeable impact on both of us without that ability. You know, without the internet being this place where like, things can happen here, and in part. Like,
and bringing people to the internet too. Yeah. Like I think there's a lot of people that were brought to the internet because of porn. And I think it's just, like you said, it would be irresponsible of us to talk about any of this without knowing the evil that comes with it.
Yeah. And it's just a shame that it's there because there's a lot of really cool, interesting stuff that has happened with porn and as a result of porn on the internet. But it's just like, it's such like a fucked up, like even like talking about the guys who started some sites or whatever and like pioneered like banner advertisements and hyperlinks and stuff, like sex.com, I think still was like a pioneer of that. Like it was the first, like, I'm pretty sure it was the first, like kind of like a dump page, but just for ads.
Like a banner ad farm.
Almost. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly right. That's the word. And that's interesting and that's cool. But like, the guy himself, he stole the site, piece of shit who ran away to Mexico to not pay bills. Like, you know, like all the guys behind the curtain are fucking.
But that's the thing is, it's kind of like looked at this thing where like, oh, it's because if you look at it from the perspective of the people that are like making these sites and doing, it's like, oh, quick, easy buck. Yeah. And then it goes on to the women who are thinking it's quick and easy buck and realizing that's a lot rougher and not as much money as you'd expect. Yeah. Like, unless you're in the top echelon of creators in porn, you're really not making a lot of money.
Yeah, and it's even worse for male performers. Yeah. So, like, it's bad.
Well, yeah, well, I just think like sex work in general is like, it's weird that it's kind of, like, if you look at a lot of people who are in a position where, like, maybe they didn't have the privilege of being able to get education paid for them. They had to, wait tables or work at a grocery, like, even, like, Cardi B. She was working at a grocery store and like barely able to afford like a room to live in. Yeah. Like she couldn't even really afford a room. Like she was living in her car sometimes. And the guy who owned the store said, look, I can't give you a lot of money. You're an attractive young lady. Like go to the strip club across the street. And for a while she felt ashamed of it and then felt power in it. But it's like, that was how she was like, I went from making like $300 a week to making about like $3,000 a night.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and it's like, if you live in a city and you're making $300, you're not living.
No. But that's gonna open up a whole other can of worms.
Anyway, the point being is like, if you're someone who thinks like porn is gross or it's shameful, like just try to think about the fact that like if it is so shameful, then don't fucking watch it.
Yeah.
You can't be in a position where you're watching it all the time.
Yeah, you can't consume it and then be like, oh, but it's so bad. And
Yeah.
like you said, everyone does. I mean, everyone, no, but like such a sizable proportion, such a majority of people watch porn.
Yeah.
That it's at least like on occasion.
Yeah.
But generally more, that it's like the fact that as a society I think it's getting better.
Yeah.
Honestly, like big props to OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Like we joke about them a lot with our wholesome OnlyFans, and you know how we're gonna do our like the wholesome boys on Pornhub and stuff.
But yeah, no, I think it's an amazing thing for creators to be able to like be safer, take back their power, and also engage with their audience.
Yeah.
So today's moral of today's episode is
seize the means of production.
Seize the means of production. If you really want to be an ethical consumer, subscribe to your favorite person's OnlyFans. If you're broke, I guess look at their pictures on Instagram. I'm still on the. You just know that what you're consuming is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I also feel like you can go on Pornhub and like there are like community creators like on there. If I'm pretty sure there are official pages for some of the performers.
Yeah, they're
like,
official. Try to go to official page. Try to do that. Like not re-uploads.
Yeah,
it does help the creator.
Yeah.
Try to go to like independent creators rather than like Bang Bros.
Definitely don't go to Bang Bros.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so funny too. The like Jake and Amir Patreon special where they're talking about the Bang Bros episode. It's like it sounds so debaucherous.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That said, Bang Bros guys, come on the pod, I guess.
You piece of shit.
Yeah. I still want to talk to you about it, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll interrogate you.
So here's what I want to do.
You want to? Okay, yeah.
We got to get our socials out there.
Okay.
How do we do this? This will be on the episode, but
how? Oh, this isn't in the episode?
This is.
It is. Okay.
Yeah. At least when I do the video.
No, yeah.
I don't want to make it like I do. Thomas does all the audio work. I just click fucking buttons.
So do I. We're all button clickers here.
Yeah.
Okay. Because every time we fuck up the socials,
that's what I'm saying.
It's like not catchy.
Yeah.
I feel like we say too many.
Yeah.
I feel like we should just give a couple and then like let's not say the Twitter one.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. We are Friend Styles on Anchor FM. We are When We Are There show on YouTube, Instagram, and our TikTok. But like if I said that good, I'm going to say it one more time. This time I'm going to say it good.
Also, do like a hey, thanks for watching.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode on porn. Yeah, we deviated a little bit, but I think in a healthy way. The Soulja Boy stuff was a necessary way. Yeah. Thank you so much. We hope to see you next week. If you want to find us on our socials, we are When We Are There show on Instagram. We are there on... Fuck!
You got to take it all from the beginning.
Okay, boom.
Also, maybe instead of watching, let's say thanks for tuning in.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in, gang. If you want to see more of our stuff...
Sorry. You said tuning weird, which is fine.
Okay, shut your fucking mouth.
I just feel like watching, because like some people listen to the podcast, some people watch it. Like watching is too.
Okay.
Like if you're listening to it and someone says watching, I'm gonna be like, I'll be pissed.
Yeah,
if I was listening to the Jake and Amir show and they said that, I would turn it off.
Okay, Thanks for tuning in, gang. We are When We Are There show on our Instagram, on our TikTok, and our YouTube. We are also Friend Styles on our Patreon and our Anchor FM if you want to support us or just see where else the show is. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
That was better.
Yeah.
Than before.
You take it. You take it then.
Okay.
I'll be on my phone here.
Okay.
Go.
Sorry. All right, that was the episode on porn, I guess. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I'm Thomas.
I'm Josh.
Yeah, and it is hard. It's like right when you get to the socials, your mind blanks. If you want to hear more from us, you can check out some of our old episodes. All of that is seen on It's So Hard.
Yeah.
If you wanna check out some of the other stuff we do, you can find us at When We Were There Show on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. We have video episodes of the podcast released on YouTube. If you think that'd be pretty cool,
just doing the sound, check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, and if you're on YouTube watching us here and you want to like maybe listen on the go, you're running from the cops or something.
You're at the gym, you're pumping iron.
Yeah, whatever you do to get your rocks off, you can swing on down to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Anchor FM, which
Just to
has
see everything.
Has an aggregate of all of the links.
And what if people want to support us? They think we're cool guys.
If you really think we're very cool and you want to send us some cash about it, we have a sneaky Patreon at friendstyles.com. Nope,
patreon.com/friendstylesgang. Anyway, we got to go to the office. You got to stop jerking off. Not in general, just like I assume you masturbate to our podcast.
I know I do.
Yeah. You got to pull your pants up. We got to go to work. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.